you looking to retire early or at least get some financial freedom, a little extra cushion? Well, we probably have the solution for you. It's not a side hustle that takes a lot of time. This is called passive investing, and it's commercial real estate. We'll show you how to do it. It's not like it used to be. It's way easier. We have decades of experience in the business, and so we will show you how to do it. This is Pivot to Prosperity, sponsored by Pivotal Real Estate Investments. And go to the website, pivotalrealestateinvestments.com, if you want to know when we have an opportunity. Thank you. Okay, this is Ginny Bolling with Pivotal Real Estate Investments, and I'm here with Earl Cline. And I am going to interview him to talk about not just multifamily this time. He has a very diversified background. And so why don't you tell us about yourself?
Great. Yeah. So I'm a lifer when it comes to real estate investing. I always tell people I started when I was about 12 years old. My dad was a builder, and I used to go to work in the back of his truck and pick up lumber around the houses. But graduated from college and did an internship down in California with a fairly large property management company. They happened to be an RTC contractor at the time, which meant that every single week I was introduced to a new property, sometimes very large, 400 or 500 unit properties that we took over. It gave me a really, really solid background in multifamily. Worked for one of the largest developers in the country, where I ran one of their renovation teams on large apartment complexes. I at one time was the vice president of a publicly traded REIT. They managed over 80,000 apartment units, and I ran the whole Western United States for them. So very diverse background in multifamily. I have been doing my own real estate investing for going on 20 years now. And we're here to seminar. I met Ginny at dinner a couple nights ago, and she says, "Man, you've got an interesting background. I want to talk to you a little bit about what you do." So,
right. So, and go back for a moment. RTC, Resolution Trust.
Yeah, correct. I'm old enough that a lot of people don't remember about the late '80s. The federal government changed the tax code. It was the '86 Tax Reform Act, and prior to that, apartments traded on their cash flow value, plus they added in a tax value. You were basically buying tax shelters through real estate with accelerated depreciation, and they outlawed that. What happened to the apartment market is all of this disappeared, and so stuff that people would pay $25,000 a unit for back then became worth $18,000 overnight, and people couldn't, even if you were cash flowing, which most of them weren't. They weren't designed to cash flow. They were designed for tax losses. But even if you were cash flowing, you end up losing the 10-15% of the value, and you couldn't refinance them when your loans came due in a couple of years. And so I think probably 80% of the multifamily in the country went back to the banks. The RTC was the federal government agency that took over the failed savings and loans and tried to dispose of all those assets. And so, if you wanted to learn multifamily, you couldn't have started in a better time in the world, in the history, because so many assets were going back to the banks and being repositioned and sold again. And I was working for one of the contractors that was doing that stuff. So
I wish I had thought of that. That's when I was an appraiser. The RTC was my client a lot of times.
Yes.
Had I thought about it, been a little more advanced thinking, I would have been buying if I could have. But anyway, so come fast forward to today, and we've been in a very unusual period with COVID. There's a lot of people also now with the inflation worried about making a move to invest. And as we've discussed, the smaller investor
now has opportunity to get involved because of syndications and other crowdfunding type models that allow for people to participate more. What's been your experience over the COVID period? Have you all been acquiring?
My son and I were in Albuquerque. We had 50 units under contract. And because I'm from Utah, I was watching the Jazz game on television in the hotel, ready to go walk my units in the morning. And that was the night that the Jazz shut the NBA down. We're sitting there watching for the game to start, and it didn't start. And finally they made an announcement, so and so has got COVID. And the next day, Chris and I were out, went to eat lunch, and it was like I was in a third world country. You know, everywhere I went, they were hauling toilet paper out in massive carts, and people were stocking up on food. And I thought, the world is changing right now in front of my eyes. And I walked the property, but I came home. I drove home that time through Monument Valley and took a little couple-day vacation. So I had some time to think about it. And my conclusion was, I'm not going to go sign on $5 million worth of loans when 6 weeks from now, my tenants, probably none of them will have money to pay the rent. So we shut those down, lucky to get my earnest money back and everything. But we looked at a few deals, but I didn't pull the trigger on anything. It was about 8 months later that I started pulling the trigger on some small deals again. And again, just not sure. I mean, we had a year and a half where tenants didn't have to pay rent. I mean, it was unbelievable.
That's what gave me pause too.
Yeah. And we were really lucky on the deals that we had. We were kicking a lot of them out to renovate their unit at the time. And the markets that we were in, we generally, I shouldn't say this, but we generally try to avoid blue states and invest in red states that are a little more landlord friendly when we go. And I have to say that tongue in cheek, because my favorite market right now is Albuquerque. And honestly, it's more of a blue state than it is a red state. And they just fought rent control. Just last week, the legislature was trying to push rent control again, which would just crucify that market. And so
we have the same situation in Orange County, Florida, too.
Yeah.
We have one county that's trying it. It's going to the electorate in 2 weeks. And now that would only be valid for 1 year. But the message it sends just really turns people away, all investors, pretty much. But as far as after that, when you did start pulling the trigger, did you also experience a great result, though, with your performance?
It's incredible what we've seen. And I, because one of my degrees is in economics, I watch the market really, really carefully. And I have been telling people for 15 years, you know, we've got high inflation coming, right? What the government's doing, it's going to create high inflation. And we've been lucky it wasn't really, we had a little recession in 2008 and it kind of took the edge off of that inflation bug, and then it started to creep back in again. But it's been incredible the last little while. We bought, and there's only a few markets in the country anymore that I can find stuff that really makes sense economically. But some of our first deals we bought in Albuquerque, the average price per unit of the deals that we bought a couple years ago was in the 45 to 50,000 a unit range, and the rents were over $650 a month. Now, if you know anything, you know, the simple rule of thumb that I use is a market that makes sense has to meet the 1% rule. And so if you're buying a house, that means you spend $100,000 for the house. You need $1,000 a month in rent in order to make that work. Most people don't equate that to multifamily, but I do. And so I'm looking at what is my cost per unit and what is my rent per unit. And so we're when I can find something that meets the 1% rule, I am excited to in various markets to do that. And we've done fairly well in Albuquerque. The stuff that we bought 2 years ago for 45, maybe 50, but anyway, somewhere in that range. Rents of $650 a month. Today they're over 1,000, and we are. I think they're worth 150,000 a unit. The NOI cash flow model says they're worth 150,000 a unit. The problem is that that we bought a bunch of fourplexes as a pool, and we can sell them off separately. But I'm not sure if I can get the comps for a fourplex, because fourplexes don't necessarily sell using cash flow. You have to get them to appraise as a like a single family, a conventional type appraisal. And so we know they're worth 125,000 a unit. I think they're worth 150 based on the income and expenses that we've been able to achieve. But just incredible growth.
That's great. That is, and it's reported by all these people here in the conferences that we've been attending. I've been to several this month, and I wish I had been investing through COVID. It's just really been the reverse of what you would expect.
It scared the heck out of us. We pulled back for I was lucky enough to have enough saved up to I had a brand new Goldwing on order. My wife said, do me a favor, put that off for a little bit, and we lived on the Goldwing money. I had more than that too, but I had to put my Goldwing off for a little bit of.
Did you get it now?
I haven't got it yet, so I've got to sell one more project to and which we're doing here in just a couple of weeks. I have 3 other bikes in my garage, so
okay.
So don't feel too bad for me.
So how many projects have you done on your own in the 20 years that you've been investing? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, it took me a little while to I think I hate to say this, but I think I'm an expert in analyzing and evaluating and all that kind of stuff, because that's where I came up through in the multifamily industry. When you work for a big company like I did, they purposely separate the raising money side from the operations side, and so the operations side I can run it with my eyes closed, but it took me a little while to figure out the raising money side, and the truth is we've been the most successful in the last little while is because I have a team that does all that for me. I don't even have to. I get involved in it, but right. but I've just put my team out there and said, hey, you guys take care of it. I'll find the projects and monitor and make sure that they produce what you guys are promising investors that we're going to deliver. So.
And your team seems well-rounded.
Oh yeah, really I've got an absolutely great team, and this is the 3rd or 4th one I put together. But over the history of my career, it's been over 80,000 units that I've actually been involved. And people look at that and they're like, "That's not even possible." But when you're managing huge projects, and I'm not going to the project every day, I'm just hiring a team of people that on each and every project, they're all their own little business, and they have their own little marketing department and their leasing department and the maintenance department and stuff like that. And my job was just to keep them from killing each other.
Right.
I always told people I was the highest paid babysitter in the world, and unfortunately, that's what operations is. But
well, so what kind of a return are you looking for your go no go decision? What are you looking for?
So because they're value plays, we're typically trying to sell our projects in 18 months, or some of the bigger ones, they take a couple of years to be able to completely turn a project around. But we're trying to get, I don't hold them as long as most people. What that means is that while you're renovating them, you can't afford to pay a huge cash on cash. We're typically, we're increasing that a little bit because some of the stuff we're because of what we think is going to happen in the future, we are starting to buy stuff that's not as much value play, but that has a little stronger cash flow when we buy them, so that if we do have a downturn, that we could sustain ourselves through that. So, but we're typically looking at 5 to 8
Cash
on cash.
Mhm.
I won't look at a deal if I can't get 15 to 18 for my limited partners. Most of my deals are the deal itself is going to carry 40 to 50% return annualized.
Wow.
And then you're going to split those up, you know, over the waterfall, various percentages to this and that. But we've been very, very successful. And I have to be careful. My attorney's going to yell at me for sharing this, but this is for educational purposes, not to get you guys. But our last deal, we just sold one about 6 months ago. It was a small project we did up in Eastern Idaho. My limited partners got 42% return. We projected 18, but they got 42. The general partners that put money in got between 120 and 180% return on their money. That was because they were able to double dip. They got the GP, which they didn't pay for, plus the LP that they put their money in.
Right.
When you add those both together based on the money they put in, I was incredibly thrilled.
What was your holding period on that?
It's about 18 months.
18 months.
So we got the money back to them very, very quickly. And people ask me all the time, why do you try to sell these so quickly? And the answer is really simple. If in year one, my return is negative because I've spent the money, but I haven't raised the rent, so the value hasn't gone up. In year two, or the end of year one, I've raised the rent sometimes 50, 60%, right? The value of the project almost doubles from year one to year two. But what happens is I can't double it again in year 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. I'm getting just a little cost of living. So the value is technically going up a little bit, but your rate of return looks like this, right? Or the value, and then it tapers off. But your rate of return goes up, and in year 2, it starts to come down because you're taking what you did in year 1 plus year 2 and dividing it by 2. And so it takes all that you made in year 1 and cuts it down. And so your rate of return tapers off. And people, I go to seminars with multifamily gurus, and they're all talking about 5 to 7 year hold. And I'm thinking, you guys are out of your mind, because if I was promising, if you were one of my limited partners and I showed you that chart, when would you want me to sell it? Right? It's when the return is the highest it can
That
be.
makes sense.
So we try to sell those, and I equate it to this. You could go and somebody will give you a 6 to 8% cash on cash, and you can enjoy that for 5 or 6 years, and then you sell it and you end up with a 50 or 100% return on your money or whatever. Or you could do it in a project and you sell it after year 1 and you get 100% on your money. You take that money and you throw it back into the next project in year 2, you get another 100% return on your money, and so on and so forth. Your return is going to be exponentially higher if you're turning your projects over.
What's that velocity of money?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's been our philosophy for quite some time. And it may change a little bit. The market is changing. Interest rates are causing cap rates to go much, much higher. And so that emphasis on pure value play may have to come back around to more of a buy and hold market. But buy and hold doesn't make sense when cap rates are so low and interest rates are going higher. There literally is no cash flow left over. If you borrow money at you know, at 6% and you invested at a 4% cap rate or even a 5% cap rate, you're losing money
Yeah.
on a cash on cash basis. And so we really like the value play market. That's really where we
That's pretty
excel.
cool. One more thing I do want to ask you, you being the expert on probably the operations and turnaround, when well, for your typical rehab, if you've got, say, a 1970s vintage multifamily, 200 units, already well occupied into the plus 95 percentile, what do you do? Do you try to get whatever units you're going to renovate and gear towards all or part in 2 years, or since you're doing the short hold, or what do? Do you vacate as much as you can then?
It's most of the time, it depends on how big the project is, right? I have no problem asking people to vacate. When one of the things we look for when we buy a project like that, if we know we're going to vacate it, I'm looking at the leases, and everybody says, "Oh my gosh, we got a whole bunch of 1-year leases." Well, I used to show up years ago with a pocket full of $100 bills in my pocket on Sunday afternoon, and I'm like, "Look, we want to get this whole 22 unit building. You know, it was a 500 unit project, but I'm doing it building by building, right?"
Okay.
And I'd show up, and the one guy's like, "Yeah, the manager asked me 5 times if I'll move, and I'm not moving. You can't make me." And I get a little smile on my face, and I'm like, "Okay, well, how much is it going to cost you for a truck? And how much is it going to, and what's your security deposit? Because I'm going to give it 100% to you right now." And there was a point where his eyes would get about this big, and he'd go, "Okay, all right, you got me." And I didn't have to do it with all of them, but there's a way, even if they've got 1-year leases, there's a way that you can encourage them.
Cash for keys is what we call it in
Yes.
Florida, right? Yeah.
So
Well, that's good. And so when you're doing a full rehab, what's your typical, what kind of numbers are you looking at? Are you at the 7,000, 10, 15, 20? If you're doing even fixtures and electric, and say no electric panels, but
my typical numbers, I can do paint, carpet, carpet and floors of whatever we put in, cabinets, countertops, and bathrooms. And it used to be somewhere in the 15 to 18,000 a unit. It's probably closer to 20 today. And in some cases, it's even a little higher. The costs have really gone up in the last couple of years. If you're not doing cabinets, you're probably in the 12,000 a unit range. And you can still put granite countertops in and paint the cabinets for in that range. That's probably 15 now, where it used to be 12 or whatever.
Yeah, it's gone up for sure. Well, I could talk to you for a long time, for sure. We have a lot of people starting to walk by and the noise is tuning up, but thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing all that knowledge with us, and I wish you well.
Well, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. We had dinner a couple nights ago together. The whole group of us went out. The dinner was wonderful. We all had a good time networking and getting to know what everybody else is doing around here. And it's really, so I appreciate you
Hope to do some business.
extending the offer to come and share for a few minutes. So
Yeah. Thanks again.
thanks very much.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for listening. And remember, if you want to know when opportunities come available, register at pivotalrealestateinvestments.com on the Contact Us page. And look for us on Facebook and Instagram. If you like what we're saying, share, all that good stuff. And feel free to let us know if you want us to cover a certain topic. Thank you.